I call the Manager of Opposition Business.
Deputy Speaker, I rise to call attention to the declining levels of customer service and the declining performance indicators at Services Australia, which regrettably is in the custody of the member for Maribyrnong, somebody who has a long-standing indifference and lack of interest in customer service. The fact is that this is coming at a very bad time. Australians are struggling with a cost of living crisis, and it is, of course, therefore vital that they receive the payments and the support to which they are entitled from Centrelink and from Medicare in an efficient and timely manner. But I'm sorry to say, Deputy Speaker, that precisely the opposite is happening. If you call Centrelink, you will be waiting longer than ever. Let's take the disability, sickness and carers category, for example. If you call in that category, call hold times have risen from just over 20 minutes under the Coalition to 28.5 minutes under the care of the member for Maribyrnong. If you are fortunate enough to get through to somebody at Centrelink and you lodge an application for a payment to which you may be entitled, the sorry truth is that the processing time to deal with such applications has blown out quite remarkably. The average days to process an application for the age pension stood at 33 days under the Coalition. It now stands at 61 days under the leadership of the member for Maribyrnong. The simple fact is that many Australians are desperately looking for other ways to get Centrelink to deal with them in a timely fashion, and remarkably enough, one way that seems to be increasingly being used is to contact the agency's official spokesperson, Mr Hank Yongan. During Senate estimates hearing last year, it was revealed that some customers had successfully had their payment claims expedited and processed faster by expressing their concerns through the media and through popular social media platforms such as Reddit. There were case studies highlighted in which customers who communicated their frustrations with claims processing through social media or through the media would then be contacted by Services Australia, and coincidentally their claims would be expedited and resolved quickly. This points to a troubled organisational culture at Services Australia and a lack of transparency. Now, the member for Maribyrnong has taken a number of actions which have made things worse. He dumped the specialised call centre operator Serco, and it is a reasonable inference that the reason that the call hold times have blown out dramatically is because he has dispensed with experienced staff and this experienced outsourced provider. I have no particular brief for this outsourced provider or any other, but what I do raise is the member for Maribyrnong's ideological obsession with being opposed to the use of specialist external providers. He has also fired around 1,000 specialist IT staff. What does that mean? It means, unsurprisingly, that work to improve digital service delivery has ground to a halt. The MyGov user audit, which examined these issues, made 10 recommendations. He responded a long time after the user audit was provided. In fact, his response was 5 months overdue, and the response he produced was an empty box-ticking exercise, which again reminded us that the current government has zero interest in digital transformation. The Australian Public Service Employee Census of 2023 found that Services Australia is an agency riddled with dysfunction, poor morale and hopeless communication. According to Services Australia Highlights report, this key agency has gone backwards on key performance measures, mirroring a similar decline in standards contained in the agency's annual report 2022-2023. The simple fact is that Services Australia is in disarray under what purports to be the leadership of the member for Maribyrnong. For example, under the question, change is managed well in my agency, 30% of staff at Services Australia respond negatively. And of course, if the staff are disillusioned and disenchanted, it makes it very difficult for them to provide good service to Australians. Most recently, we've seen that the Health Delivery Modernisation Program, a multi-year fund overhauling Australia's legacy health payment systems, is in disarray. The Coalition invested over $100 million in this program, but that it has been in red status since December 22, even though it was in green status in July 2022. Services Australia is in a mess under the member for Maribyrnong.